All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief audio and video check. How's everybody doing? By the way, we have, before we get started, we do have Nikkei, Japanese news, right? We have the Nikkei, Japanese market. I did get into a short here, looking for this thing to continue, looking for this Nikkei to sell off back down to these 39,050s. And yeah, we could just go ahead and watch this while we get everything set up. So give me just a moment. If you are getting buffering, as always, if you do have buffering, just go ahead and hit that refresh button on the YouTube. We've been having that lately. Okay, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slow Markets. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. As always, in the YouTube chat, there is our top step risk disclosure. Everything that you see and basically everything throughout Slow Markets is for educational purposes only. Yeah, let's get into this. We have news coming out in the Japanese market and Nikkei, right? And look, I am short too at 39,160, playing for a break. And I mean, here we go. I'm looking for this market to come down and test these lows and maybe even possibly break lower. Can we do that? I think there's a possibility that we can break lower. Here we go. This thing is selling off into that, and it's going. Wow, look at this thing go. Look at this thing go. Wow. All right, I'm just going to close one out right here. What a move. What a move. I was not expecting this fast. Let's see what we could. What a move. Okay, we got that one filled. I think I'm just going to leave this one on as a runner. Leave that one on as just a runner for break even and see if we could, break through this level. See if we could break through this level and continue this sell off. It's been a massive sell off here in the Nikkei. You know what? I'm just going to close it out, actually. I'm going to close it out, and let's just get back to the regular slow markets. Let's get back to this regular thing. Just close that one out and call it good just to start. Now, the NASDAQ, man. The NASDAQ has been my bread and butter. What a market indeed. This is the NASDAQ, the daily. Let's review. You can see I am in just the slow markets combine, but let's review this market. It's so bullish. We are very, very bullish on the NASDAQ. We are just 0.7, 0.8% from all-time highs. 0.7 to 0.8% from all-time highs here in the NASDAQ. Today was an interesting one. Look at the past days. Look at this. We had a doji, another doji, where we open up and we close right where we opened, right? We close right where we opened on both of these days. So that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And yeah, next resistance going to be up here near all-time highs. If we zoom in and we take a look at the hourly chart, we had a bit of a sell-off here during the New York session. Christy, don't mention it. The Nikkeis continue to sell off. But yeah, we had a bit of a sell-off here on the NASDAQ, to start the New York session. Pre-market into the New York session, we sold off at this nice little level. This was resistance. Sure enough, this resistance started to become support, and we had a nice reversal. We did break, this was support became resistance, and then at the last hour, during power hour, we broke through this. Now, I was locked out in my Topstep account. I finished the day plus 6,000, right? So I finished the day, so far $6,000 total for this week. Or actually $6,600 for this week. And, you know, we had that beautiful breakout. I was long, or I was locked out, but then I got in long in my personal account. So I ended up, you guys wouldn't believe this one even if I showed you, but I ended up getting long 10 minis in my personal account around here. I think it was like 80, I don't know, somewhere around here. I got on long 10 minis, maybe, I think it was 11 actually, 10 or 11 minis. And then we just rallied. I closed off I closed off 3 of the minis up here into these 230s, and then I'm swing trading the last 2 minis to see if we can make a run up to all-time highs. So I am long 2 minis, and I'm gonna see if we can make a run to these all-time highs here. Probably by Friday. And so those 2 minis, I'm up about like $2,000. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Locked out of my live account in the money. Long 2 minis from, you know, down here at these, you know, 180s, looking for all-time highs. It's going to be interesting here on the hourly chart tonight. It's hard to find a way to sell this market because it's been so bullish, right? Every dip has been bought up. Every dip. If we take a look and we measure these sell-offs, you know, was today a little bit longer? Sure. It was about like that. And then what happens after that dip? We've been getting some very nice rallies. If we measure these measured moves, if we take these measured moves into consideration, look at this. Sometimes they are relatively accurate. Nothing's perfect, but they can be close enough. Obviously, this is a news event, but so far, measured move. Maybe this one's a little bit smaller. This one's even smaller. But then we finally got a pullback, and so I think that tonight and maybe even tomorrow, most likely maybe tomorrow, if we do break out, if we could break through these 318s, and then we can make a run at those all-time highs that we've been talking about, and we've been watching this price action in December before Christmas. That'd be interesting. You could see where the market is right now. The market is right around this resistance zone. The first level that I have is going to be around these 370s, 380s, and then next, obviously, all-time highs. Let's see. I don't have too much left to talk about on the NASDAQ. We'll continue to come back. But everyone's saying gold's on the move. Gold's on the move on the hourly chart. Yeah, it's been one heck of a move. Last night, right? Is this where we were at last night? We broke out, and now we are. It's been by the dip, where sure enough, double bottom here on gold. And do we continue? Are we going to see 3,000 in gold? Are we going to see 3,000? This is an hourly chart. It's been by the dip. By the dip continues to pay. Man, it's so hard to buy it up here. It's so hard. It might be the right play to, you know, buy it for a break into 3,000. 3,000 is not too far away. We could easily see that by the end of the week. Who knows? But this is quite the move on gold. I don't want to be short it. I would rather wait to see if we can get some type of a pullback. Maybe this past hour, if we zoom in, was that a good enough pullback? Was this a good enough pullback? Every time I start slow markets, it's been buying, right? Every time I start slow markets, gold's been going up. So take that as you will. That's interesting. Yeah, look at this. We're marching up on gold. What? Yeah, it's hard to buy if you didn't already buy it. It's one of those you just close your eyes and buy. 29.55, next level 29.56 maybe. Do I think they'll find gold in Fort Knox? I don't know. Let's keep going. Let's take a look at crude oil. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at Nikkei. Someone said it was just continue to dump. And we recovered a little bit. We came down to 39.10. and now we are recovering just a little bit. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. Let's take a look at like an hourly chart here on the Nikkei. It's not looking so good for the Nikkei. I mean, you could see that this nice resistance is kind of holding up. Maybe we're looking at some type of a double top now possible. It was looking pretty good for a moment. I mean, the past couple nights where I was looking for this market to hold, and I was actually looking for this market to even find continuation to the long side. Everyone knows that trade I was in Sunday night going into Monday, that we finally broke out. I was actually, to be honest, looking for this market to continue higher, but obviously with news, with anything that could go on, anything political, brings volatility to this market. I don't have a bias anymore in this. Just wait for things to settle down. I'm just going to do a pass. I did play for that break, right? Everyone's seen that trade that I had on. It was simply this. It was just a break, looking for a break to see if we have some dramatic sell-off. We got it. It was good. That worked out really well. And not much to talk about left on there. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil. Big shout out to the house account. Crude's looking pretty bullish. If I do say, I mean, man, house account traded that amazingly today, right? Where we've been in this trend for quite some time, right? Very big sell-off, and we are holding these lower 70s. We are starting to see a little bit of market structure. We are starting to see some buyers defend these 70-50s. And tonight it looks like we might be able to break through 72. And then if we break through 72, can we come up and test somewhere up here towards 73, maybe 73, somewhere in this area? That could be a possibility if we do have a breakout play up to 73 plus. It's still hard for me to get short on or get long crude oil just because of this trend, and this nice little sell-off. I still hesitate. I mean, there could be a nice trade for the long side right there, but yeah, I'm looking at a higher time frame, let's say the daily, and then we start to zoom in on this daily chart, and so far it's holding its support, but I wouldn't be surprised if for some reason we do come back, test it, break down. Not sure. It's going to be interesting to see if this continues to hold and we find some more market structure, or at least maybe consolidate. It's a tough market to trade, but I do like possibility at trying some longs. I like the longs right here better than shorts. I'll just say that. There's a decent possibility for maybe up to this level, and then look for shorts down there. That could be a decent trade. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Let's zoom in. What's NASDAQ doing tonight? Kind of consolidating. We've been rallying. Like, look at this. Where did we closed up here? Like, this was quite the dang move. This was one decent move in the breakout. That I was surprised. I was really surprised by this move. I mean, I have this still going. What is this? 180s. This is where my two contracts are in long, right? I'm going to be swinging this overnight for, I don't know if I'm going to hold the full two contracts into the maybe all-time highs. Definitely one of the minis. See if we could break through and see where we go from there. Oh, I mean, what else? What else is there? What else is there tonight? Going through some of these. Maybe we get to some questions. We do have Coach Jay that's going to be joining me tomorrow. I will be on for Power Hour, Lunchbox Trading, Power Hour. Yeah. Lunchbox Trading tomorrow, Power Hour tomorrow is going to be fun. We'll see. I've been on a little bit of a winning streak, so I'm going to be honest. Usually when I go on a winning streak, I end up taking a loss. Maybe I don't want to speak that into existence, but we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow in the Topstep account. I've been doing really well on Topstep's accounts, on my personal accounts, and in this market. And it's been buy the dip, buy the dip. Today was a very beautiful dip to buy. And yeah, that's why we have daily loss limits, right? That's why we have daily loss limits. Whenever you are having a winning streak, you have a daily loss limit to where you just don't give all of it back. Coach J, you say, are we? Yep, Coach J. Coach J, the other Topstep coach here. Think positive, Rip and Coach Dakota, good combo. I hear you on Topstep TV talking about levels that you are looking at. How do you generate those levels? What are you using? So a lot of my it's market generated information, right? Like this is a nice support level. This is based off of 5-minute chart on the NASDAQ. Just support and resistance, right? You could see this is a nice resistance level. So therefore, there is a support level, and we did break through that tonight. So I'll be curious if the NASDAQ will hold this and if we'll see continuation up to the long side. Right? Nice little resistance, support. This is a good level. This is a good level. Now, Topstep does have generate their levels. Let's see. It's the Topstep daily levels, right? Here's the Topstep daily levels. Probably zoom out to an hourly chart so we could see them a little bit better. And there are these, and they're relatively accurate, right? And I say accurate as in they're good decision zones, right? That's not a signal. We put the risk disclosure in there all the time. It's not a signals. These are not recommended buy or sell, but they can be, areas of, what do we say? Areas of interest. Areas of interest would be a good example of that. So maybe, up here, this is a weekly kickoff high. Could it be resistance? Could it be, an area to buy it? Could it be an area to sell it? Same here. Last week's high, yesterday's high, settlement, value area high, point of control. Can I go in and do these calculations? Sure, if I learn how to do that. But this is a nice feature. Let's see what gold's doing. See, it's just going up. It's just going up. Who's trading gold here tonight? I know Coach Hoop. Coach Hoop, you have to be trading gold. That's probably up there, right? Let me know. You took a long breakout when MGC just closed the MGC plus 240 on gold. Who's shorting gold up here? That's the next question. Coach Ray's trading gold. Scalped from the long side earlier. Up 1200. Okay. We're breaking. Here we go. We're into these 57s. Ever since it started when I started class, right? Right at the start of class. Right at the start. Right there. As soon as I clicked start, gold just been going up. You're tempted to short gold, but it's a tough one. It's very tempting to short gold. That's for sure. Let me see. Let's get to some other questions. Let's see. What am I missing? Okay. What's my thoughts on Bitcoin's a gap fill and support 80.73 on the weekly? How's Bitcoin doing? Gold's going up. What's Bitcoin doing? it's doing the same thing it's always done for the past months, right? Just consolidating. I want to see Bitcoin sell off down through this level. 100,000, maybe tomorrow we wake up and the next thing we know, tomorrow we're up here. I don't know. I'm not a Bitcoin trader. I've been watching it, waiting, see if there is going to be an opportunity on Bitcoin, and so far nothing. So far nothing at all. Nikkei is recovering pretty well. The Nikkei, we are recovering quite well, actually. Look at that move. Look at this move. See how volatile it could be? What is this? 0.7% sell-off, and ever since we've bottomed basically here at 39,000, I mean we've went up 0.4. So there is definitely some volatility. Ooh, here's a good question. Can you explain the theory behind put your entry where your stop would be? It's not making sense to me. Seems like if my setup presents itself, I should take it and not mess with the switcheroo. If you have your own process, I strongly recommend not messing with it. You do not need to mess with it. But the idea behind that, the idea behind put your entry where your stop is because markets tend to run liquidity. Here's a good example, okay? Here is a very good example. Here's the NASDAQ on the 5-minute chart. And you can imagine all the traders today, right? All the traders today were buying this. Anybody that was buying this, where would your stop loss be? Where would your stop loss be if you're long the NASDAQ, right? Well, your stop loss would be below this consolidation. That would make sense, having your stop loss somewhere below here. Well, the market tends to know that, right? I mean, it's very general. Visually, we could see this. Well, and then, sure enough, we sell off. We run everyone who is long, right? Everyone who is long, if they had stop losses really close, they just ran their stops. And guess what? Straight up, right? So there is something to it. This is a bigger point of view, right? This is looking at the entire day. Everyone who is long early in the day and throughout lunch, they got their stops, ran, and then in power hour, slammed them, right? Slammed them just straight through. And so if you were looking at today as consolidation and you wanted to get long, you would need to have a little bit wider of a stop loss, and then even then it's very difficult. And you could see it on any time frame, right? If we zoom into a 1-minute time frame, and you're like, well, where's a decent example? It happens really often, and it depends on how you trade. It really does. It depends on how you trade. I'm sure there's plenty of examples of that. Here is one. I think this is a short I took this morning. I think this was, maybe it wasn't, but as you can imagine, this is very tempting to short, right? Look, like I'm going to short this, and sometimes I'll place my stop right here. Guess what? We ran up, hit my stop, and then we sold off. And then the same example, right? Here's another example. If traders were short off of this pattern, guess what? The market ran up, hit traders stops that was short here, that had their stop losses right there, and then it sold off. And then again, right, it happened maybe one more time. Maybe someone was looking at this as consolidation, and right before the end of consolidation, we ran some stops, had a little fake out, not once but maybe even twice, right? Maybe even twice right there, and then we sold off. And then on the opposite side, on the flip side, right? If you were buying this, I mean, that looks like maybe someone might want to buy this. Well, we had a nice little fake out run of stops, and then we rallied. And it's not abnormal. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Nothing happens 100% of the time. But that's just a fun saying. It's not fun when it happens to you. It's just the reality. It's the reality. We tried to do it earlier, right? We tried to break out of 200. I think this is where I went long. This is where I was long during the New York session. Could you imagine everyone who is short, right? Everyone trying to short this market up in this resistance zone. So, short, everyone's short. We ran up. People's trying to short it again up in this resistance zone. Ran everyone's stops, and then we sold it, right? And then we sold it. So there is something to be said about that, and that's why that saying is like, yeah, if you're short, everybody has a chart. Everybody has access to a chart. Everyone could see this, and it doesn't take a genius to know where people put their stops. That's the reality of it, and that's what happens. That is what happens. At the end of the day, it was just a full-blown squeeze, and man, here we are. Wow, I didn't realize how far we really came after that. I'm surprised. Like that's what are we? Over 100 points. Over 100 points. So anyway, hopefully that made sense a little bit. It's hard to build a strategy. It really is, because you could, in theory, just say that for a very long time. Where's the stops being ran? Where's this? Where's that? I mean, look, right here. Tonight, anybody who is buying this, right? Like, oh, wow, we're going to break out. This is a nice resistance zone. We could break out and continue. And where would your stop be? Well, a nice stop would probably be, if you're long here, right? If you're long at like 46, somewhere in this zone, and then you put your stop below this little area of support. But yeah, this is support. I'll put my stop below that, and I'm looking for this thing to break out. Sure enough, boom, just ran it, and then we start the move, right? You could even make an argument to say, if somebody was trailing this market up with a stop loss, right? You could say this one, right? You don't exactly know, but this market loves to move at areas of support and resistance and break through them and have a fake out, especially the NASDAQ, right? I'm looking at the NASDAQ. I'm specifically talking about the NASDAQ because it's very volatile. It's a lot less prone in, like, say, the ES, right? Of course, these big ones are going to still be there. Like, these bigger ones will still be here on the ES. But those small ones that you probably see on a smaller time frame, they're not there as often. They're not there as often as they are on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's really sporadic, and you're very prone to it. But on the ES, it's I don't want that one. It's more consistent, I would say. The ES could be a little more consistent, right? Because if we look at this sell-off, look at this. If we take a look at the ES, there wasn't a stop run here. Yeah, there was one maybe here. This one was not as big of a stop run. So the ES is a little bit more consistent. It's not as wild and as whipsaw-y where it just runs them very dramatically, because it has a very thick order book, and you won't see it as crazy, I guess. Let me fix this up. I am actually... Man, this thing looks... ES looks pretty bullish too. Is this the all-time high on the ES? Yeah, this is the all-time high on ES, right? Yeah. ES. We can make a run for all-time highs on ES too. Look what NG did. On the daily. Yeah. Natural gas. What's up with natural gas? Just straight up. Oh man. That's one heck of a... That's 10%. Yeah. 10% today on natural gas. Who trades natural gas in here? That's crazy. That really is crazy. I wonder if that's, part of why we are... I don't know who trades natural gas. Oh, I don't think I would have the heart to trade natural gas, unless it's like Is there micros? There's micros, and is there? Yeah, maybe micros. That's one heck of a move, right? That's like 12%. That's like that's a Bitcoin kind of move. Yeah, that's insane. Insane. Gold keeps going up. Yep. We're still hanging out around those 57s. I want to take a look at Nikkei. Yeah, Nikkei's just chilling. We had that sell off and immediately started to rally. That move on the Nikkei. We got all the way down to basically 39,000 and just bounced straight up. And then NQ. NQ still looking. I don't want to short the NQ. It's hard to find a short on the NQ. I was thinking maybe the NASDAQ could have a little bit of a pullback, right? Looking for a little bit of a pullback on the NASDAQ. It's so hard just because we're so close to all-time highs. Whenever we're close to all-time highs, I don't want to short anything. Is Trump speaking? I mean, I'm not seeing anything come across. He's providing more policy flexibility. Not a whole lot. We had the Bank of Japan talking about that. Maybe that's why we've seen a big sell-off and then a bit of a recovery here on the Nikkei. The Nikkei looks pretty tempting now for, I mean, if we could hold this, and start pushing up, maybe the Nikkei could be something to the long side. It was looking not too great there for a minute, but we completely rejected right back up. And if we do hold, dang, maybe that looks pretty tempting for a long. Pretty tempting, but I'm not seeing too much tonight, to be honest, everybody. We got a lot of moves, and tomorrow, this price action's Wednesday. This price action is Wednesday. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let's get to some questions. We have about 55 minutes that I'm perfectly fine with just getting to some questions. We just get to some questions and go from there. I don't like the... Yeah, we are getting this pullback in the NASDAQ. Where did we open up? Real fast. I want to see if I might need to... Tonight, basically down here. This is where we opened up tonight. So we're already up 0.25%. That's not too much. We are now at a level of support here. We are at a nice little level of support on the NASDAQ. It's that zone. That's a decent zone. All right. Well, let's just get to some questions. We'll watch this. Like I said, even though I'm not in a position on here, I'm not in a position in my live account. I am in position on my personal account. Long from down here, something I'm going to swing. I'm still going to watch this. If I see anything, hope you guys don't mind. I'll just come over here and close it and manage it. Yeah. Make sure everything looks nice and clean. Okay, let's get to some questions. Now, I'm going to do the same thing I did last night. I want to get through some questions the next, 50 minutes. Let's get the likes up. If we could get the likes up, what were we at yesterday? I want to beat where I was yesterday. Let's say 600. If we could get to 600, then we'll continue to, I'll just be able to go through some more questions. We need to get to 600 though. For the likes. Yeah, this stuff's free for everybody. So why not? It's just a like. You don't have to pay anything to come in and ask a question or to chat. Trump speaks. Is Trump speaking right now? Buy before Trump speaks. When is Trump supposed to? Is he scheduled to speak? I see that the DOM is just super thin. There's not much there. Yes, with Elon. Put the link. Dump Trump. You know what I might do? I think I might just get out of one of these. Oh, come on. Oh, I did not want that one. Go over here. Yeah, let's see if we could just get out of this. I'll just get out of one. I don't want to hold too much into it. Get out of that one. If it will fill me. All right. Okay. They're live right now. Yeah. I don't want to get out of an entire position. It's at 68 and a quarter. Doomlord, I don't know why it's so uncommon. Why is I don't get it. I don't understand why it's so uncommon, to be honest. Or I do have one. It's just way down there. Where is my stop loss? My stop loss is way down here. It's a higher time frame. We'll watch these markets going into the Trump speech. I don't know if we're going to see some volatility or not. Doomlord, people don't get the point of not flexing the Lambo and just retire at 34. Yeah, you know what? That's an interesting concept, right? Is would you, if you make enough money to retire, or at least go on an island? Because I've thought about that. Do I just like get Starlink internet, right? Do I just get Starlink internet? Travel around the world with my Starlink internet and then trade and just not have to deal with anybody, right? Don't have to deal with people. Don't have to deal with any of the work or any of that. I've thought about that a lot, to be honest, more than you probably think. And I came to the conclusion no, because guess what I found myself doing? It's so freaking boring. I now understand what my grandpa was saying, because when my grandpa retired, he said the same thing. He's like, it drives me crazy. And my grandpa ended up just finding a little part-time job working at a little fitness center, a local rehab center, just to keep him busy. And so I'm like, I kind of feel the same. I'm not going to like find a small job to work at a rehab center. But, that's part of what I'm doing here at Topstep. This is fun. This is absolutely fun. I love it. I love working with the Topstep team. I love working with Pop Squad, the VIP team. It's so much fun, where even if I was retired and I had, $1 billion and I could travel around the world and just do all that, doing this is worth, it's busy. It's fun. I enjoy it. After I finish, I go boxing, go to the gym. I do whatever I want, relax, and then it's nice. This can be rehab. We are seeing some volatility here. Happy I got out of that one right when I did. Trading plus van life is the dream. I don't know if I could do van life. I don't think I could do a van life. I've gotten to the point to where I'm spoiled with the essentials that I do have. Maybe van life for a week, if that counts. How often do you work at your other job? I don't have another job. I'm a full-time trader. I used to do some work in supply chain. That was just contractor work. One of my main sources of income has always been trading since I was in high school. Since I was in the end of high school, beginning of college, it's all been trading. And then I've done some contract work in supply chain. Trading. That's all I know. Mark M, you're a supply chain guy. What did I do? China, Vietnam, Mexico, had some suppliers in India working on company supply chains. Start from finish. Buying, no, everything. We'd work on the design of the product all the way to delivering the product to a warehouse here in the US. It's huge. There's something called being a black belt in supply chain. I thought about getting it, but nah. Dakota, what is the single biggest aha moment for you in trading? Something you learned that made a major change in your trading? So, if you watched the stream yesterday, I went over that question. That's a hard question. It's a difficult question because I don't think it was one aha moment. And essentially last night in slow markets, I boiled it down to simplicity, right? Keeping it simplistic, and that was and risk management. It's not combat. It's not black belt in combat. It's a Sigma 6. 6 Sigma. Yeah, you got that. What is the crime? 6 Sigma in supply chain. Six Sigma. Yeah, that's what it was. Where did I get black belt from? You know what? Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's in Six Sigma. Yeah, it's the program. Not that. I'm still waiting, everybody. I'm gonna get to some of the more in-depth questions if I could get up to beat that like. Give the like. We're only at what, 380 likes. So I'm still waiting for that. It's up to you guys. Yeah, Mark M. Black. I just realized that. I was thinking, and the chat got me off thinking, combat. Yeah, it's about manufacturing, supply chain, top to bottom. It's a lot. There's a lot into it. The book is like that thick. It's huge. Okay, here we go. We're catching a bid here in the NASDAQ. Look at this. Let's see. What's the Nikkei doing? Is the Nikkei just chilling there, chilling at 180s? I'm going to just focus on the NASDAQ. Getting a little bit. I closed that one out for me at 68 and a quarter. So I'm fine. I'm still long that one in my personal. Dakota, what is the most difficult market condition for you to adapt to in your career? I think we continue to see the different market conditions, but I have a big issue, or the hardest thing for me as a trader is adapting from consolidating to expanding markets. I know it sounds weird, but I do. I have a hard time in bear markets, if you believe that or not. I'm a perma bull, right? And I have a hard time I'll show you. I have a hard time in markets like this. I suck at them. I don't know why. I tend to get like, okay, we're starting to be bearish. I believe this or not, I struggled for the past month and a half. You've seen my January statistics. They were off and on, right? They were choppy, minus 10,000, minus 20,000. I think the deepest drawdown I've been in was minus 30,000, minus 30,000. And the funny thing is, I was looking for shorts a lot more than I was looking for longs. And it's just the thing for me is we sell off so fast sometimes, and then we spend so much time just going up, grinding up, immediate sell off, and then grind up. Kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's just me trying to adjust to it. I'm such a perma bull where I just buy, find something, buy it. I look for opportunities to buy the dip. Find opportunities to buy it. Doesn't mean I can't sell. Everybody tuned in to Topstep TV during fast markets. I was looking for opportunities to sell. I think I took one trade to the short side that worked out, and then one trade to the long side that worked out. And so I can do both, but it's just natural for me to be a buyer when I'm trading the NASDAQ. And so I have a hard time transitioning in this type of a market. Now, I know most of the time we break out to the long side. My most profitable time, actually, if you believe this one, was right around here. It was right in this. This was, I struggled. I struggled a little bit here, but I ended up getting in pretty sizable position long down in this area. And I caught the majority of this. I did catch the majority of this in my personal. So I love these nice trending markets. I get chopped out in markets like this. I do good in this. I do great in. I do great. It's just buy the dip. Like that's all that is. Yes, we do get sell-offs, right? We get these dramatic sell-offs. Not too bad. That's not too dramatic. That's okay. I understand when we do get a sell-off, it's easier to identify, but knowing typically look for an opportunity to buy it. Same thing. August this year was not too bad. We've seen that volatility and, buying dips, and then for some reason, high volatile and chop get me, and then transitions are kind of difficult. I also find it difficult at all-time highs like this. This is hard for me to trade. This is very hard for me to trade because if you're not already in a long, right? Hint, I'm already in a long. You want to buy the dip, but then if you didn't buy the dip, right? So if we look at the hourly chart, and we say, if we did not buy the dip down here, and as we start to go up, and as we start to reach all-time highs, I can have some difficulty day trading. I'm not the best day trader. I just okay-ish at day trading. And so as we approach all-time highs, and as we get kind of overextended, if we do get overextended, I struggle. I really do. Whether it's chop, whether it's like the feeling of overextended, as we start to zoom in, you kind of see this price action right here. This, oh man, this is a nightmare for me as well. I prefer chop like this compared to this, right? This is hard. I know it's easy to say, right? It's easy to say, just buy it. Just buy any little pullback. It's easier for me to say it than to do it. Easier said than done in that situation. So that's why I'm saying it's difficult. I love to have my daily loss limit at Topstep. I love the daily loss limit. I don't mind using the daily loss limit if needed. It's $5,000. If I hit my daily loss limit, or get close to it, maybe even $100 or $200 past it, call it good. Move on to the next day. There's always another day. There's always another day that you can trade, and that's what I'm a firm believer in. Guess what? It's okay to take a loss. It's okay to take one daily loss limit. That's what it's there for. If you could stand that daily loss limit, it's okay. If you can't, then lower your daily loss limit. You should be okay with your daily loss limit. If not, it's too big. Claudia, 5,000 is a big daily loss limit. It's all in comparison, okay? You do have to know that. It depends. $5,000 compared to what, right? JD, yes. Personally, I do lean more towards my longer term trades and my swing trading during times of difficult periods. Difficult periods in the markets. I do lean towards my swing trading because I find it personally easier. Yeah, Tech, it's all relative. Is it necessary to get educated about market makers, models, and liquidity concepts to have an edge in the market? Adele, no. That's a straight up answer. Usually I say it depends, but that's a straight up answer. No, it's not a necessary thing to be educated about to have an edge. You don't need to know anything about market makers or their models or liquidity concepts to find consistent success in the markets. I would dare say, if there's anything that you want to learn more about to help your trading, focus on risk management. Focus on that, and that should be your primary, goal, your primary thing to focus on, your primary whatever. That should be the one thing that you focus on. Risk management, developing a process, and following that process. The heck with market maker models, liquidity stuff. There's some great traders that do it. If that's your cup of tea and if that's what floats your boat, go for it. But I will never say something's like, if you don't know this, you'll never have an edge. I think that's a wrong mindset. There's traders that, there's this one trader. I was watching this the other day, and the guy sells, I don't know exactly what it was. It's on crude oil. It's even on crude oil. What he does is I think he sells a straddle on crude. I think he sells a straddle on crude. And basically all he's doing, this guy, right? I don't know any more detail, but all this trader does is he sells options, and he looks at the daily range, and then wherever the market is, he just sells an option above and an option below. And as long as price doesn't get above or below that, he makes like $200, right? He's like, yeah. And he does this like 2 or 3 times a week, collecting theta. Yep. And then if the market does, guess what? He just rolls them. He just rolls the options. And he's been doing that for like, I guess, years. And it's so simple. Now, you have to know options. But the idea is that you could develop a simple strategy and a simple process. And if you could do it consistent enough and manage the risk, you can make money without knowing everything. JD, yeah, you know exactly. You don't take a loss if you keep rolling it. You can't. It's not a realized loss if you don't close the trade. Buy the stock, wait for it to run off a bit, and start selling calls. Good money selling covered calls. You only lose your investment if the stock goes to zero. Shinka, I would stay with futures. You don't need to learn options. I did a poll on social media the other day about, your like everyone's favorite instrument, and it's futures. I would say that for beginners, for traders looking to be consistent, futures it's the spot to be. Yeah, day trading and trying to be consistent. If you could learn how to day trade these futures markets and do it consistently, you're going to be pretty good. You're going to be pretty good. And then here's the nice thing is you could apply these same concepts in many other financial markets. You do. You can apply these same concepts here that you're learning and that you're using day to day here trading futures, day trading futures. You can apply that to a lot of things. You could like if you have a retirement account or personal saving, like it's the same concepts. Risk management is not just a concept only applicable to day trading in a single account. Export bond, that does work. It's high probability. Yeah, unless you just unless you have some crazy news event and you take those very rare losses that could be pretty big. Managing your losses is always key to anything that you do in these markets. Deep U, yeah. I haven't met him yet. I have not met him. Still waiting for I said 600 likes. We need to get to 600 likes before I start getting more in depth on some of these good questions. Come on. I've been answering questions without thinking about that. All-time highs in that NASDAQ? I hope so. I'm positioned pretty well today for NASDAQ running up to all-time highs. I'd love to see it. Talk about journaling, coach. 600. Already hit the like. Okay, yeah, I'm looking for 600. Yesterday was 500. Today's 600. It's not that hard to do. Brazil, good night from Brazil. Dakota, do you use the wheel strategy? And if so, what are your stocks of choice? Matthew, I do. It's a variety of stocks. Are you going to trade the Nikkei now? I had a Nikkei trade on Monday that just was a small grind. Tonight, I had a scalp. Do you want to classify $1,000 as a scalp? Sure. Worked out pretty well. I don't know. I might take a trade in my live account. I might wait till tomorrow morning. We'll see. We shall see. Always done when you start the show. Not sure what you mean. We are only what? We're almost to the 600 likes. Where's Mohammed? I've seen him in the chat. Get Mohammed here to pump up the likes. Maybe we could get him to join Slow Markets one of these days. Probably sleeping. Handheld. Tomorrow, Coach Jay is going to be joining me for Slow Markets. Tomorrow, Coach Jay is going to be joining me for Slow Markets, and then I will be we'll be reviewing trader statistics then. So hold off on submitting. Wait until tomorrow to submit them for review. I know what you're talking about on the 1 hour chart. Sean Plays, I think that's how you say your name. You can see there's resistance here. You can see there is resistance, support and resistance here on the hourly. And so you're saying that this looks like a pretty bearish signal. Is that what you're referring to? I could see that, yeah. It's just I have a hard time because this market's such a strong market. It's been buy the dip, right? Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Maybe we do get a pullback. I'd be okay with it. It's just, look at this, right? Traders looking for a pullback did not get one during this period of time. maybe we get something similar where do we wait for that 1 hour pullback? Nope. Nope. And we grind higher up towards all-time highs. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, we got to 600 now. All right, we got to 600. Here we go. Last 30 minutes of class. Let's get to some in-depth questions. I've been answering questions all along anyway, but let's go through. Can you explain the theory behind... I did that one. What would you say to a new trader if they want to find a strategy to be able to find consistency? What would you recommend? Okay, this is the one that I was referring to. Okay. What would you say to a new trader if they want to find a strategy to be able to find consistency? So, ooh, look at this real fast. I'm getting distracted. NASDAQ pushing. Is Nikkei not doing anything? NASDAQ is pushing. I just hold this one NASDAQ mini runner. Kelly, please give your thoughts on the NASDAQ tonight. I did tune into slow markets from the start. At the very beginning of slow markets at 7:30 p.m. Central is when I go through a recap. I talk about the markets, and then I continue to talk about them throughout the night. It's just unfair for everybody who's been here since the beginning. I don't want to go through anything repetitive. So it's always recorded. You could always play back anything that you might have missed. But going back to this question, the one thing I would say, or I would maybe recommend, right, because it's not financial advice, and we always talk about that risk disclosure, is find and develop a process and start with as little or as few of steps as possible, right? Something very simple. Now, I'm going to give this as an example, and this is purely an example, okay? Purely an example. Let's say I'm a brand new trader. I'm a brand new trader, just never traded before. What I would tell that new trader to do is say, if they were my best friend, and this is purely an example, and I say, hey, first thing you should do is you start on the 5-minute chart, and you go to the indicators, and you should put either a VWAP or a simple moving average. Where's the simple moving average? Some moving average, right? Where's simple? Come on. It's right up front. Okay, so something on your chart, okay? You know what? I like the VWAP a little bit better. Okay, maybe you can have them both. I don't know. So I just say start with something very simple, and just say what you should do. This is purely an example. If I was talking to my best friend, I say practice this, develop a process trading. You know, I wouldn't even do NASDAQ. I honestly, I would say ES. I would say ES. I'd say develop a process using ES, and I wouldn't even use the moving average. I'll just say the VWAP. Use the VWAP, use the ES, go to a 5-minute chart, and just buy a 3-bar reversal after a pullback. Whenever you see a pullback, buy a 3-bar reversal, and only buy it if it's above the simple moving average. I would do that, right? So therefore, every single time he sees a 3-bar reversal above a simple moving average, or above the VWAP, right? Above the VWAP, buy it. Well, guess what? No trades today, dude. My friend would have not traded a single trade today. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Don't trade. If there's no reversal above the simple moving average or above the VWAP, don't trade. Don't trade. If you want to sell, you can, right? But I would not tell them to sell this market. I'd say just don't worry about selling. Only buy. Only buy. I want to see you only buying this market. Whenever we get a pullback and the market is above the VWAP, you buy a 3-bar reversal. And then he says, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I would say 3-bar reversal. Very simple, very easy. 3-bar reversal on the 5-minute chart. What I would recommend my best friend to do would be you enter when the market crosses above there. You put your stop loss at the bottom of that bar. And then you have a 1 ATR. You just not 1 ATR, a 1-to-1 risk reward. Nothing crazy, no 2-to-1, just 1-to-1. So if you are risking like 2.75, then you must make 2.75. So just have a 1-to-1 risk reward, right? There we go. And just do that. Do that repeatedly for 2 months. 2 months. 2 months. Do that for 2 months, right? That one might have been a loss. That one's below, right? Maybe he did end up buying this one, right? That one might have been a loss. Let's go through here. This would have been a winner, right? That would have been a winner. This one would have been a nice winner, right? 1-to-1. Just go for 1-to-1 risk rewards. Buy 3-bar reversals. Only buy. Do not sell. Do not sell. If the market's below the VWAP, just don't even trade. Like this is a mess. Don't even try and get cute with it. Don't mess around. Tonight, yeah, you know what? There's one right here. Would have worked out nicely, right? That one would have worked out pretty nice. A nice little 1-to-1 risk reward. And I would just tell them, do that for 1, maybe 2 months, and then report back to me. Review your statistics. Review your statistics. Do it repetitively, like a robot. Do it like a robot. You don't care. Do it on 1 micro, right? To heck with a mini. Just do it on 1 micro if you need to. Do it on 1 micro, and in 1 to 2 months, report back to me, and we'll review every trade you took. We'll make sure you followed your process. We'll make sure that you got in exactly at that 3-bar reversal. We'll make sure that your stop loss stayed exactly there. We'll make sure you stayed the same size. Stayed the same size, 1 micro, stayed the same stop loss, stayed the same entry, and you did not change anything based off of your emotions. That's it. Like, do that. Do that for 2 to 3 months. After there, then you could make adjustments based off of the way you like to trade and what you see and this and this and this. And you want to start with that baseline, right? You want to start with that baseline and then build on it, right? Build on it. Well, then you could add maybe shorting it. Maybe you could add a condition saying, well, it's okay to, instead of only buying, now it's okay to short if and only if the market's below the VWAP and it's a red candle for the day. And then you say, well, if the market's going sideways, I'm not going to trade it. Then you could say, well, if we have FOMC on Wednesday and it's Tuesday, you don't trade it. And then you could build off that and you can make a game plan of how to, I guess, approach each market and different market conditions. And then you could also make a game plan to approach when news events are coming, during rollover, during certain times of the year, right? Spring, summer, going into winter, going into an election year, going into, CPI, after CPI, before FOMC, during Trump speeches, right? During times of low volatility, during times of high volatility. And everything that you do, still, your core strategy and your core process did not really change, right? Buy 3-bar reversal, stop loss below that, entry as soon as we break above it. 1-to-1 risk reward. And that is so simple that you could just continue to repeat it. But the key is when and where, right? When and where do you do it? Simple, easy, straightforward. When and where, right? When and where. That's always the question that we must ask ourselves as traders. That would be my best recommendation. Now remember, this is just an example. Okay, this is just an example. It's not. I'm not telling everybody in here to do that. But if it was my best friend and I want to see them succeed the quickest, that's what I would do. And now remember, I'm not saying a week and then you make adjustments. I'm saying months. I'm saying 1 to 2 months, because you're learning the basics. You're learning key basic, functions, learning how to become a trader. It's like any professional athlete. You learn the fundamentals and you repeat the fundamentals. And you don't learn the fundamentals in a week. You don't learn the fundamentals in a month. It's muscle memory, right? And the muscle that we're using as traders, the muscle's a brain, right? Our muscle that we are using as traders, it's a brain. And that's what we have to train. We have to train our brain to follow a process, to not get emotional, to not break your rules, and do it repetitively. You can't tell me, we joke around with Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, but a free throw shot for Michael Jordan, and everybody knows, if you guys know Michael Jordan, close your eyes and shoot a free throw. It's muscle memory, right? You close your eyes and shoot the basketball, and he knew it was going to go in. It's the same thing for trading. It's that muscle memory of following a process that you do not need to lack any confidence. Just like, yeah, it's just straight through. Incoming LeBron quote. People lose money trading lower time frame, anxiety trading. You see it happen every day on Topstep TV. Yeah, I get caught into it, red tape. I get caught day trading and overthinking sometimes. And a lot of that comes with being on camera in front of thousands of traders. No one wants to lose money in front of thousands of traders on camera. So there's a lot of pressure doing that. That's why you see a lot of YouTubers struggle with transparency, right? Because maybe that's their job. Maybe that's what they do. And their job is to be a YouTuber, and maybe that's how they make money, selling something. And when you have the lights on, when you have the pressure of 1,000 people, something you depend on as a person, and you don't want to be wrong, it's hard, right? You not only have the pressure to be right, to make money in front of everybody. It's a lot. It really is. And that's why you see a lot of YouTubers struggle for transparency. It is, because I could even be part of that, because it's hard. It's like, oh man, I don't want to go on air right now. Like I tell the Topstep team, I'm like, I hit my daily loss limit. I don't want to go on air and have you just put minus $5,000 on top of my name. No one wants that. And then you just sit there for a whole 1 or 2 hours with minus 5,000 Dakota live account, minus 5,000. And then you just get to sit here and read the YouTube chat, trash talking you like half the entire time. That's not fun, right? Yeah. But it's just, it happens, right? You guys need to see that. Everybody needs to see that. That's part of it. Next time it happens, I could put a minus 5,000 on this hat. Where's that? I'll have to do that. I'll have to put the minus 5,000 club. Next time I hit my minus 5,000, we'll do that. I'll do it. We'll call it the DLL hat. Yeah, that's trading. That's what you think. That's what I teach. That is trading. Look at this market. Look at this market. Yeah, sitting with it is part of it. It's the, yeah, it's part of it. There's an old story. There's an old story. This is what you guys get when you like the video. When you guys like the YouTube, you get all this stuff. I think I could, would that be right of me to hold back some of this good stuff until you guys reached the like limits, right? Is that it? If I put like limits in slow markets class, gold right back to session open. Is gold selling off? No, just please tell you. I don't know. Oh my, look at the gold. Right back down. That's bullish for equities. Ooh, here's the next question. Do we get a continuation down that like this? Do we see something like this? We've seen it before. Consolidation? I don't know. Nice pop in the NQ. I'm getting paid. Getting paid in the NASDAQ tonight. Yeah. We're getting paid in the NASDAQ. Session highs. Session highs. Let's go. Through these 88s. Breakthrough. Look at that. Look at that. So beautiful. Yeah, that's going. Next stop, 316s, 317s. Into the 90s. The Denkies, minis. I'm swinging some minis in my personal. Swinging some minis. From way down there. Bob Fairchild, when do I take profit? I'll trail it. I'll trail it. You know, it's, yeah. We want to talk about high margins. Ooh. Okay, all right. Let me make sure I don't share anything I shouldn't here. I'll show you some high margins. Hold up, 1 second. 1 second. Let's see if I dare show you guys what the margin. If you guys want to talk about real trading, if you want to talk about real live trading, let's see here. Look at these margins. On this account. Where's it at? Projected overnight initial margin, 28,000 for one mini. 28,000 for one mini. Almost 29,000 for one mini. So, yeah, when I say when we are at a prop firm, you got to understand, we're trading 15 minis here at Topstep on the 150K account. So you can understand the power of how big it actually is. Right? I understand that. That's reality. That's real trading. That's live. And so you can imagine what Topstep is doing. So understand that. Understand the notional value, right? You got to also see the notional value on some of this stuff too. Mike ZZ, yeah. My answer is yes to that question. Everyone has opportunity. That's the beautiful thing about what Topstep does. Everyone has an opportunity. That's what we're here for. Right? That's what everybody is here for, or at least should be. Check out GC. Are we just selling off here in GC? Oh yeah. Who's short GC? Who's short gold? Wow. Anybody short gold? Hoop. First name? No. Nope. Coach Hoop's not short gold. I just got out 3 micros short gold. Well, if you're short, that was a decent trade. That was a decent trade. Now the question is I think everyone's wondering is do we sell off back down to the bottom end, right? Are we looking for the market to move all the way down here? Or is this just a pullback? Because we've seen something like this before. Is this, we've seen something like this before, right? If we remove all the, we've seen this. Is that possible? We've seen these moves, right? We've seen these moves. These crazy moves, and they've been good buying opportunities, right? These sell-offs have been good buying opportunities. Remember, this is an hourly chart, so it's a higher, much higher. Like the gold's volatile. Gold could be very volatile. Tomorrow morning when we wake up, we could be right back up here. Just cleaned up liquidity for all-time high push overnight. Cleaning out the paper hand buyers, or the paper hand, just getting us some shorts. All right. Well, time goes by fast when we start getting in depth, right? So this is the last 5 minutes. Last 5 minutes. Yeah, I think that's going to be about it for me. I will be on Topstep TV tomorrow during Lunchbox, and then during Power Hour. So Lunchbox trading, and then Power Hour. Let me go through, and then of course slow markets. So Lunchbox trading, Power Hour, and slow markets tomorrow. And yeah, I think I went through everything tonight, and I think I got through everyone's questions. It was I thought it was going to be a slow night, but we are seeing some volatility in these different markets, which is a nice thing to see, to be honest. It's very nice to see some of this volatility. It's slow markets. Still interesting to see this, because we're not always used to all of this volatility, to be honest. Let me make sure. I'm checking a few things on my end. And wow, yeah, this month is almost over. Can you believe it's almost the end of February? Time goes by so fast. It's almost the end of February. Soon it's going to be spring. Dakota AMP futures was low day trade margin. AMP futures, yeah. If you want to talk about brokers, there's plenty of brokers. I don't just trade futures though. I stocks, options, longer term stocks, longer term options, right? Holding for a week, a few months. That's why I choose them. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, there's a lot more to come. Like I said, I I tell people all the time. I tell people all the time the same things over and over and over again. Is I am here at Topstep for a reason. Topstep is the best prop firm, and that's not even a question. Like that's not even a question. Topstep X is only a year old. Topstep X is less than a year old. It's amazing to think about that. Topstep X is a year old, and it's continuing to improve. And I think if Topstep X has came this far in less than a year, you guys can only imagine what is in store for the next year. It's gonna be, oh man, I don't even know. I can only imagine. It'd be so cool on what else is in store for Topstep X. If just some of like this in and of itself, the structure's there. In another year from now, it might be one of the best trading platforms out there. So, all right, everybody, take care. I will see you bright and early in the afternoon. I'll just see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.